Okay, welcome to Belgrade, everyone. So I've just arrived here at this square from the airport. So there's a bus that runs from the Belgrade airport to this square here. And I don't know what's with this music. Hold on, let me check out this music here. Is this live music, or I think it's just recorded. I'm trying to figure out where the music is coming from, but I think the music is not. I think it's just recorded, so it's coming from some speaker system or something. Anyway, so this is my first time in Belgrade, and it seems to be quite a mix of different things. So here we have a big sign that says #Beograd in Cyrillic letters. Beograd being the Serbian name for Belgrade. And this is Dimitri Tutsovic. I don't know who that is, but he appears to be a person who had a statue erected in his honor. Let me try to get away from this music, because this music is actually pretty loud. So yeah, Belgrade, the capital of Serbia. This is my first time in Serbia, and I'm not really sure what to expect. I'm trying to withhold I have some preconceived notions of Serbia, but I am trying to withhold my preconceived notions until I actually see some of it, because preconceived notions can be quite deceiving. Belgrade is a sizable city, but the city center is not that big. It's sort of a fairly typical European capital city with a relatively small, relatively walkable city center, and then a bunch of suburbs that are mostly not very interesting to people, because it's just houses and supermarkets and stuff like that. And Serbia definitely exists, as does most of Yugoslavia, I guess, or the former Yugoslavian countries. It really exists at sort of a crossroads between the East and the West. It's still very much influenced by communist ideology, and a lot of people seem to consider Serbia to be good friends with Russia, which is probably true to some extent. But the Yugoslavian countries, or the ex-Yugoslavian countries, are also very much influenced by Germany and German things. Like you see here, for example, here is a huge ad for DM, which is a German chain of drugstores. On the other hand, also a prominent presence here is Sberbank, which is a Russian bank. So there are a lot of Russian things here and a lot of German things here. And unfortunately not that many authentically Serbian things, or at least not many things that I recognize as distinctly Serbian, but maybe I'm just too ignorant to know what those are. Pretty cool fountain here. I like the fountain. This square is probably many people's first impression of Belgrade since the bus stop's here. Actually, that's the bus there. The bus is still there after all this time. That's the bus line A1. Yeah, it's bus A1 that goes between here and the airport. Costs at present it costs me 300 Serbian dinar. And 1 dinar is kind of like it's close to $1 US or €1, so that's kind of like $3, which is, I guess, not bad for a bus between here and the airport. Anyway, you will notice also in many places, once again, combination of East and West Cyrillic letters and Latin letters side by side. There are also many things which are written, usually things are only written in one or the other. Like if you look at this advertising here, you can see the advertising's, I don't know why they do this. Advertising is usually done in Latin letters. I guess that's because, you know, it's supposed to be more modern and more cool. So traditional things like that statue over there that we saw, that statue of, what was his name? I already forgot his name, I'm sorry. So that is written in Cyrillic letters because that's sort of seen, I guess, as, you know, the traditional, representing more traditional values, more old or historical things. And then Latin letters are kind of seen as the future, so they tend to be used in advertising, as you see here, and stuff like that. So anyway, I do not have a lot to say about this place. I mean, it's a fairly small square. It's a nice square, but I wish that there weren't such. I wish they weren't playing such loud music because it's doesn't make it nice to sit around there. I guess it's supposed to make it pleasant, but it actually makes it less pleasant for me. So I'm gonna, since I don't know a lot about Serbia, I'm not gonna say too much in terms of an intro. You can see it's getting close to Christmas time because they have all these Christmas decorations and things here, but well, let's walk around for a little bit and see what we can find in Belgrade or Beograd. Okay, I know I shouldn't jump to conclusions, but first impressions after having seen like less than 10 blocks of Belgrade is Serbs seem to be quite given over to bad habits. So here is a betting parlor, Mozart Bet, and the number of betting parlors that I have seen in the very short time that I've been here is a little ridiculous, to be honest. I mean, betting parlors are not rare in Europe. I mean, they occur in, they do show up in Germany and other European countries as well, but they usually are not that common. But here I've seen like whole city blocks with several betting shops on one block. So the sheer volume of betting parlors that exists here is a little bit ridiculous. And also, it seems like everybody here smokes. I thought a lot of people smoked in Russia, and well, they do. But compared to here, it seems like even more people smoke here. Everybody I see here is smoking. So that's just a first impression. Serbs are they do indulge some of their bad habits like smoking and gambling. Probably drinking as well. I haven't seen anybody drinking yet, but actually, so at the airport, at the Belgrade airport, there is a Serbia store where you can, buy Serbian things, I guess things people associate with Serbia. And the things there basically fall into three categories. I would summarize the vast majority of the wares in the Serbia stores falling into one of three categories. The first is religious icons. So, sorry, I'm a little out of breath. I'm getting old, man. I'm out of shape. I can't walk and talk at the same time. So, Serbia is an Eastern Orthodox Christian country. Same religion, basically, as Russia, as well as Romania and Bulgaria and Greece as well, actually, and several other countries. And Serbia is, as I understand it, relatively religious. So, yeah, so you do see those religious icons showing up here more than in some Western European countries where religion is kind of a thing of the past. So yeah, like about 1/3 of the store was religious icons, and then another third was clothing, which there was some traditional clothing, like, what they would call traditional costume, I guess. I don't know who that guy is or why they put him on the side of this building. So there was a little bit of kind of, Serbian national costume, but the vast majority of the clothing was Gopnik style stuff. So like tracksuits, like really the kind of three-stripe tracksuits that you associate with Gopniks. It was that kind of stuff. And then the other third of the store was booze, alcohol. So alcohol, Gopniks, and religious people who are probably older people mostly. That's what was that was the target audience, the target demographic of the Serbian store, which unfortunately confirms some stereotypes that I might have previously had about Serbia. But again, I'm not going to jump to conclusions. Let's walk around a bit more. The day is still young. I just got here. I've only walked a few blocks, so let's see what else we can find here in Serbia. I don't know what I don't know what Menječnica is. It looks like another. The thing below the word Menječnica is supposed to have some kind of monetary figure on it, so I'm guessing this is maybe a money change place, of which there are many, because Serbia obviously doesn't use the euro. It's not part of the European Union. They have their own money, the Serbian dinar. So probably a money change place. I don't know what this building is, but it has a couple of Serbian flags on it. And I'm trying to. Oh, there we go. It's the Institute's neonatology. I don't know. I'm not sure exactly what that is, but it's an institute of something. So there you go. That's okay. I should probably stop filming now. I should probably not fill up my whole camera with junk. I should probably get to the city center and start filming there. So I'll try not to film unless I see something interesting. Okay, I haven't walked far, but I'm going to take a short break here and just look around, because I'm in this nice little kind of park area. It's not much of a park, but it's here in front of the... so that text there says Klinički centar, a clinic center. So I'm guessing this is a hospital? I don't know if... I think there, on that sign there, I think it says, is that it says, Poliklinika. So this is a polyclinic, which is a curiously Slavic kind of word. Russian has the same word. A curiously Slavic kind of word for basically a medical clinic that handles many things. Poly obviously coming from Greek, so it's not a specialized clinic, but a general kind of medical clinic, which I don't know how that's different from a hospital, to be honest. I guess the difference is a hospital has beds, like patients may stay in a hospital and sleep in a hospital for many days at a time, whereas a clinic is kind of more for outpatients who they get treated here, but they don't stay here. So it's very interesting. I knew that Serbia is one of the few places in the world with a really, is it diglossia, or is that something else? I forget the word now, but there's a word for when a language has two different scripts that basically match to each other. And I knew that Serbia is one of the few places in the world that has that. As I said, it has the Latin letters and it has Cyrillic letters, both of which derive from the ancient Greek alphabet, but which today and in our modern times are fairly different from each other. I can read both because I've been learning Russian for several years. So I mean, the Cyrillic alphabet is not new to me, and so I can read both. But you can definitely see a difference in context and intention that's presented by the two. As I said, usually stuff like this, I mean, like you can see here, the name of the hospital showing up there, it's sort of majestic, it commands respect, and so it's written in Cyrillic, because again, Cyrillic is kind of like more for older stuff, it's more for things that, it gives a sense of something being more traditional and older and kind of more, traditional is probably a good word. And then Latin letters are used, as I said, it seems like they're often used for advertising. So Latin letters are basically used in any situation where people want to present a cool factor, because again, it's seen as kind of, something modern and, it's something more for young people. So Latin letters immediately establish a kind of a cool factor. They're associated with Western things, with making a lot of money, with young people, stuff like that. And then Cyrillic letters are more generally used for other stuff that's not trying to show off, not trying to be cool or anything like that. So yeah, it's interesting because the choice to use one alphabet or the other immediately sets a context and kind of gives away some of the intent of why somebody chose to use that alphabet in that particular context. And yeah, Somebody wrote on this tree. I don't know how strongly these political opinions are held, but I know that Serbia does tend to be more. I don't know if I want to say nationalist. I guess that's the word. Yeah, nationalistic. But that word tends to have a negative connotation. I don't necessarily mean it negatively here. Serbs are proud of their country, and that manifests itself possibly in some negative ways, but also in some positive ways. But I did notice as I was coming here on the bus, I saw from the bus a huge graffiti mural on the side of some building, very visible, that said, "Kosovo is Serbia." Now, that is not an uncommon opinion in Serbia, but it's just interesting how it, I compare it with Germany, where I live now, and if you saw if anybody anywhere dared to put up graffiti saying something like, I don't know, Ostpreußen is Deutschland, East Prussia is Germany, East Prussia being the territory that was lost to Poland after World War II and is now part of Poland. People would tear it down right away. People would paint over it. People the very same day, people would deface it and say, no, this is not true, you can't say that. But here, you can openly say Kosovo is Serbia, and I don't know how many people agree with that, but at least it's certainly tolerated. So that kind of opinion and this expression of nationalistic opinion is certainly much more tolerated here than it would be in Germany or most of Central or Northern Europe. So anyway, okay, I've blabbered here enough. Let's walk on and see what else we can find. So I thought this was kind of an interesting idea. There's a clock. Well, okay, here it's kind of covered by tree branches, but there are clocks mounted here above this section of the street. The only problem is, well, there are two problems. First of all, if you view it from the other side, it's backwards. And the other problem is, I don't think these clocks are running, because this time is wrong. The time seen on this clock is not actually the local time here, so, unless I'm terribly mistaken. So, I thought it was kind of a cool idea when I first saw it. Hey, you have a clock right over the street. If you're driving in your car, you're supposed to keep your eyes on the road. So you think, well, I don't want to look at the clock in my car, so I'll look at the clock over the street. But these clocks are not working, so what's the point? I don't know if they're supposed to be working or if they're just for decoration, but they clearly, it seems pretty clear to me that they're not running. See, something like this, for example. So, my Belgrade home, this is a new apartment, this is a new residential apartment complex under construction apparently. My Belgrade home, why is it in English? It's obviously not appealing to Serbs. It's not being built with the idea that local Serbs will live here. This is obviously being built for foreign expats who want to live in Belgrade. So that's why, well yeah, actually, my point was it's written in Latin letters, but actually now that I think about it, it's not just in Latin letters, it's in English as well. So yeah, it's obviously not aimed at Serbs. I don't know what the deal is with this statue, but it looks kind of to me like a space alien who wants hugs. See, he's holding out his arms on the side, so it's kind of like hugs? No? Maybe not. I don't know. So yeah, still walking around. Here's a view of, I think that's getting close to the city center. I think that's like downtown Serbia. And here, I don't know if I'll be able to get to that bridge later, so from here, here's a view of a, wait, that's not the bridge. Where's the bridge? That's the bridge. Yeah, bridge, big cable suspension bridge over the river. I believe the river here is the river Danube, the same river that flows through Vienna and Budapest. So it's quite a significant river. So in Serbia, apparently they have these special doors that you can use to walk onto freeways. That's an expressway or a freeway back there. So yeah, if you just want to step onto it, you just kind of want to take a walk down the freeway, just go in there. I obviously I'm joking. I know it's not. So you can go onto the freeway. It's the opposite. So if you have a breakdown, if your car breaks down, you can walk off the freeway here without having to walk through traffic. But it's just kind of funny that the door is, actually I guess it looks like It looks like there was a door there, and then it fell off or broke off, or somebody pulled it off. So yeah, so if you just want to take a stroll on the highway there, then well, no, you're not. I realize you're not supposed to. I'm just making a joke. This is actually quite a nice area here. This is quite a nice little walkway. It's a quiet little tree-lined kind of path by the freeway. I'm also surprised by how little graffiti there is on this wall. I mean, there's some graffiti here, but other than that, there's not much graffiti here. I would have expected to see more, because usually cities like this have tons of graffiti all over surfaces like this, but this one does not, which is nice. Okay, so yeah, this is what it's supposed to look like. This is another one of those doors. We can see there's no handle or anything on this side. There's no way of opening it from this side. You're supposed to open it from the other side and then escape from the freeway here onto this walkway. But, so yeah, it's just that the other door just broke off, and that's why it was open like that, but it's not supposed to be open like that. Speaking of graffiti, I'm not quite sure what to make of this. So, I don't know if somebody just put the word Россия, which of course means Russia, there. I mean, I can understand making a statement about Russia, but just the word Russia by itself, I don't really understand what that's supposed to mean. And then Serbia, Serbima, I don't know what that, well, Serbia is obviously the country. If I had to guess, I would say that means Serbia for the Serbs, meaning that the Serbs want to keep their country for themselves and don't want it to be penetrated by foreigners. And here is some artwork on the side of a building. I don't know what this building is or what it's all about, but there's a building here with some artwork on it. Okay, so I'm a little bit confused now. I'm here in this kind of an area, and there's a sign here saying that the Belgrade Central train station is just down there. So if you go down this street, I guess somewhere down there is the train station for Belgrade Center. But this doesn't seem anything like the city center. This is like the opposite of a city center. This is probably the quietest place I've seen in Belgrade yet. I mean, this is just like a little, I mean, there's nothing here. This is just like a tiny little suburb. There's nothing going on here, so I don't see quite how this is the center, but the center is not far in this direction, so I'll continue walking this way, because the city center is not far from here now. Okay, now this is a proper park here. This is a nice looking park. I like it very much. So I think there's some kind of a school. Well, you can't really see it here because it's behind the trees, but I think there's a school over there where some kids were playing soccer, or football as Europeans call it. But here, right next to it is I guess it's a public park. I mean, I assume it's open to the public. I like how there's no paved path down. You just take this kind of a dirt path down into the park. I mean, why not? Why bother paving the path into the park? I find these things very curious. If you look, they look kind of like tennis balls, but there's some kind of naturally occurring thing. It's like some kind of fruit or something from one of these trees. I don't know. I don't know what the deal is. But there are a ton of them. You can see there are lots of them all over the ground here. So they must have fallen from either this tree or probably this tree. Yeah, I think it must be this tree that they fell from. But wow, there are a bunch of them. I have no idea what kind of fruit or whatever this is. I've never seen anything like that. But there you go. Saw something new in a park near Belgrade, or next to Belgrade. Go vegan. I'm going to guess this is a relatively unpopular sentiment in Serbia. Okay, at this point I'm starting to wonder what I've done wrong. So, my GPS is telling me that I should be getting close to the city center, but this is by no means the city center. So there's a huge park here, and it's nice. I mean, I like this very much. I mean, I like the looks of this park. It looks great. And these apartment buildings here, well, okay, they don't look so great. They look a little run down. But I mean, this area, it's not that this area is bad at all. I mean, I like it here. It's a nice looking area. It's like a nice, but this is a suburb. This is a residential area next to a park. This is not the center of anything. So I don't quite get it. I thought that I should be seeing signs of being close to the city center by now. So either I am wildly misinterpreting the map that I'm looking at, or maybe the city is playing a joke on people and claiming that this is the city center. I'm not sure. Let me walk a little farther and see what I find. So, adding to what we just saw about going vegan is a further sentiment here about fur. So, ladies, remember to shave. Okay, folks, so after looking at my GPS again, it looks like I am terribly mistaken, because I looked up some landmarks, which I know are some of the key landmarks of Belgrade, and they're not in this area. They're actually close to where I started off. I thought that bus that dropped me off, I thought it would make sense for it to drop me off at the city center, and I was wondering why did it actually, according to my GPS, why did it drop me off so far from the city center? But I think Google Maps lied to me. Google Maps would have me believe that right around here on the other side of that park is the city center, and I don't think that's true at all. This is a suburb, so I have no idea what kind of lies Google Maps is spreading. I'd like to go and check that area out since I'm close to it, but now I have a problem of nature. The first one is it's going to start getting dark in a couple of hours, so I want to get back to the city center before it gets dark. And you can see when I started off it was quite sunny, like a pretty clear sky and sunny, but now all these clouds are moving in. I flew in here from Central Europe, and in Central Europe it was terrible weather. It was cloudy and raining heavily, so I have a feeling that rain system is moving in here into Serbia now. So I want to get back to the city center and maybe explore this area on another day. So I'm going to start heading back the way I came. I wonder, what are these cops all about? So, those are police vans there, and all these guys in helmets here are police officers. I wonder what's, seems like they're expecting something to go on here, but I don't know what. They're just kind of sitting around as if there was something happening, but I don't see anything going on. Okay, folks, so after getting rather dismally turned around by Google Maps, I'm back here where I started, here at the Beograd sign, except, well, we're on the other side, so it's backwards here. It strikes me that this is another instance of the old and the new meeting here, because Switzerland and the city of Basel greet Belgrade, it says on that streetcar. Because this sign is written in Cyrillic letters, but it has a hashtag at the beginning, which is obviously a very recent innovation in language structure. So hashtag Beograd in Cyrillic, it's kind of, again, a mixture of the old and the new. And speaking of gambling parlors, right here next to me is the Admiral Club jackpot place, and then right over there is a Havana gambling place. So yeah, these gambling places, they're really everywhere, man. It's kind of crazy. Okay, and now that I'm actually here, now that I'm on the other side of this square, now that I'm actually here, it didn't take long to spot that. That is St. Sava's Church, one of the premier tourist landmarks in Belgrade, and allegedly the largest Orthodox church in the world, the largest Eastern Orthodox Christian church in the world. So now that we're finally back in the city center, let's go check it out. Okay, so this is the first bookstore that I found here in Belgrade. Bookstore in Serbian is Knjižara, and okay, here they have some stuff for children, but and we can see here the store is puppies. So if you want to find a puppy store, now you know where to get one. Hi, I'm puppies. The books for adults are here, and they look pretty good. I mean, these are pretty good looking books, but I noticed that most of the books seem to be about Serbian things, which is not bad. It's just kind of funny that the first bookstore I find specializes in Serbian and Yugoslavian things. I wonder if this is a common theme in Serbian bookstores. I don't know. Let's find out. Okay, so here's a sign pointing out the way to, well, here it says St. Sava's Temple. I actually admit I don't know, what is the difference between a temple and a church? I really don't know. The references that I saw online referred to this as a church, but these signs here say it's a temple. So anyway, but yeah, it's St. Sava's Temple or church, and if we come this way, there it is. That is it there. So let's get closer and take a closer look. Okay, here we go. Temple of St. Sava, so, or church or whatever of St. Sava. So this is probably Mr. Sava himself, or not Mr. Sava himself, but a statue of him holding a cross and a book, which is probably a Bible. And there is some text here. I don't know what that says because I don't know Serbian. And yeah, this is the church. There you go. Once again, allegedly the largest, the single largest Eastern Christian Orthodox church in the entire world. So there you go. Pretty sizable building. Let me see if I can get let me just walk around it a bit and get a few different perspectives on it, even though it seems to look more or less the same from all the different angles that you might look at it from. I'm sorry that these trees are in the way. I should probably get closer to the church, but if I get closer to it, then you won't really be able to see it very well because I'll be so close to it. This is the kind of church that benefits from being photographed or filmed from a distance. So yeah, I don't know if I'll be able to get a much better shot than this, because yeah, I mean I can walk up to it obviously here, but then you can't really see much because everything just kind of disappears up top. You can't see the domes on top or the crosses up top very well anymore, and down here you just see a huge white wall. So I apologize, I don't know that I'll be able to get a much better shot than this, but yeah, here you go. St. Sava's Church. Here's another shot of the church from this side. This might actually be the best side for viewing it. Unfortunately, at the bottom there, it's marred by some scaffolding because it's, I guess, partially under construction there. But here you get a pretty nice view of it from this side. And right next to it over here, this building is the National Library of Serbia. Serbian National Library, pretty cool. And remember I was saying something about how Serbia and Russia are reputed to be really good friends. There is something over here. I don't know what it says. But this thing on the left here, those two flags at the top there, those are the Russian and the Serbian flags. Oh, it has something in English here, so let's see. Interior redecoration of the St. Sava Cathedral, Belgrade. So here it says, the St. Sava Cathedral is the largest Orthodox cathedral in the Balkans and one of the most important Orthodox cathedrals in the world. It's interesting because one source that I read says it's the largest cathedral in the world, but here it says it's the largest in the Balkans, which is somewhat different. Okay. All right, interesting. And here there's something about decoration of the cathedral's main cupola. And here is something about progress, because Serbia is also a progressive country. And right here in front of the Serbian National Library is a statue of one of Serbia's most famous children, Nikola Tesla, who actually was born in Croatia, if I'm not mistaken, but he was born to a Serbian family. He was born to a Serbian family in Croatia, and so there's always this debate between Croatia and Serbia. Was Tesla Croatian or Serbian? But he was ethnically Serbian, but born in Croatia. And I really don't know what that equation is. I should know it because I actually studied electrical engineering. But what is T? I mean, obviously m squared is square meters, but what's WB? I don't know. A little embarrassing. It's obviously some electrical equation probably, but I don't know what it expresses. I'm sure you can look it up online and find out. Here on the side of the library is it's something. I mean, this says men wanted for the army measurement or measurements, and I don't know what any of this says. The years there, 1914 to 1918, those were the years of World War I. I do find this interesting because here at the bottom are the logos of the U.S. Embassy, Serbia, the British Embassy, Belgrade, the Austrijski Kulturni Forum, Belgrade, the Austrian Culture Forum, and then Canada, not the Canadian Embassy or anything like that, just Canada. And then some other logos here, which I don't know what they are. And there's the logo. Narodna Biblioteka Serbia, Beograd, the National Library of Serbia in Belgrade. Za bicykle. And here, a little farther away from the church on this side, there's this statue of this guy. It's rather imposing, and he has a huge curved sword. His name is I don't recognize that Cyrillic letter because it's not used in Russian. Is that the ch, which would make this Karachorchia? I don't know. But anyway, I don't know who he is, but he's got a lot of plants growing in a pile under him. And on the other side of him here is a nice little park. This is actually a quite nice little park to to sit down in and rest in. So I'm going to sit here and take a rest for a while and figure out where I'm going to go next. And for some reason here, next to St. Sava's Church, so back there is St. Sava's Church, but here, next to it, is like a smaller version of it. So if that church is too big for you, if that's just too much to take all at once, and you can go here into this smaller little, smaller church and visit that instead. After walking around the church so much and taking so many shots of it with my camera from the outside, I realized that I had yet to go inside and take a look at it. So I went inside and took a look, but the church is actually under renovation inside as well. So you can kind of see from here that green stuff is tarpaulin. It's or whatever. It's like plastic sheeting that closes off the rest of the church. So there's really just like the front area that you can go into. And there's not much to see there, just a little shop selling icons. It's actually, to me, it's a little crass that they're selling icons in the church. It seems kind of, well, what shall I say? It's not my place to comment on it. So yeah, it's a little unfortunate I couldn't actually go inside and see the real interior of the church. It's closed off right now, but from the outside, it's a very, very nice looking church. So yeah. Okay, I think I'm done here. I'm going to go off and head into the city center now. Well, further into the city center. So the area of the city that contains the downtown area and the shopping area and stuff like that. Google Maps tells me it is a place. It's a district called Dorchol. So Dorchol is allegedly, at least according to Google Maps, like the main drag where you have all the shopping malls and the tourist attractions and things like that. So that's like the real downtown. So the other Belgrade that I had on my map must have been like maybe that's like old Belgrade where there's nothing left now. Maybe that's just like an old historical settlement. But the real main drag now, the real main place with the real action is now Dorchol. So let's go to Dorchol. You can probably see it's getting dark. The sun is going down. I actually don't know where the sun is, but I think the sun is setting. So we can go into like the happening district of Belgrade and see some of Belgrade's famous nightlife for ourselves. This bank is called Komercijalna banka, a commercial bank. This is good to know because, you know, there's so many banks. Most banks are like not-for-profit organizations, so it's nice to know that at least there's one commercial bank. So if you want to know where to find a commercial bank, now you know that there's one here in Belgrade. This here is a drugstore, an apoteka, and I just love the names of some of their products. So here they have, on the left they have Fresh Life, okay, that doesn't seem too unusual, but then they have Sleepy Sensitive Jumbo Pelene. So if you're sleepy or sensitive or jumbo, then here's medication for you. And then they have Yes Baby Jumbo Pelene, which is just pretty, I mean, I don't know what that is. I have no idea what they're selling, but it seems pretty awesome. This Hilton hotel is all decked out for Christmas. Here again, they have more of these clocks over the street. And these clocks are still showing the same time that I saw on the other clocks. So these clocks are indeed not running. They just show a completely bogus time. So what's the point? Somebody's liable to look at that clock and think that that's the actual time and then get confused. By the way, this is a typical payphone here in Belgrade. You can see it's from Telekom Serbia. And the telephone asks, "Halo?" No thanks, I'm more of a Counter-Strike person myself, but thanks for asking. This here is a rather huge Christmas tree decoration. I would almost hate to see the size of the tree that this thing fell off. Apparently there is a Serbian law that if you pass by this point, you have to take a selfie of yourself with this decoration thing, judging by people's behavior. I noticed that these flowers here, there are flowers in the grass arranged in the shape of the shape of the Cyrillic letters S, K, T, but I don't know what that's supposed to stand for, so I couldn't really tell you what the deal is there. But skuts. So I was just passing by and saw this. Here is a exhibit on the history of the police in Serbia. So for example, here you can see an old police car with the word militia on the side. I guess just as Russia used to do, Serbia used to call their police militia. Here you can see various uniforms that they wear or wore. Here's a Zodiac inflatable boat. And I guess that there is a diving suit that the police would wear if they had to go diving. And so yeah, here's that little car. What kind of car is this, I wonder? There's I don't see any model on it, so I don't know what model of car it is. Here's a militia motorcyclist. And back there you can see some older style uniforms. And from here you can see some weapons. So basic rifles and pistols and things like that that the Serbian police use or have used. So little exhibit for the police. That's interesting. And this sign here says Federal Parliament. Is this the Federal Parliament right here, or is it farther on in that direction? I don't know. Maybe this is the Federal Parliament of Serbia. Not sure. So this is a nice area here. So back there you can see there's another dome of another huge Orthodox church. There's a blue and red Christmas tree. And you guys watching this video, if any of you guys are thinking of getting engaged to your girlfriend, but you can't, she has really big hands and you can't find a ring that fits her, I think I found where you can go. Here is a closer look at that blue and red Christmas tree, and here is a better look at that cathedral, and it looks like they've strung Christmas lights on these trees here as well. Wow, that cathedral is really, they've strung lights all over the cathedral back there as well because well, presumably because of Christmas. Yeah, they have those. It actually seems almost a little bit tacky because, you know, those icicle style Christmas lights, I always think they're a little bit cheap. Like they're not necessarily cheap in the financial sense, although, well, they might be that as well, but I mean, they're just kind of, somehow they seem a little bit lazy, like something for people who couldn't think of anything better to decorate with. And this building here is also, as you can see, it's also all covered with them. One thing that really tends to characterize Slavic countries, and I don't know why, is these kind of little underground shopping malls that just are basically limited to one street intersection. So basically I'm here underneath a street intersection. I walked in from there, so those stairs go up to one side of the street, and then you can walk over the street, you can cross the street normally, or you can come here underground and go through this little shopping, like mini shopping mall that's in this tunnel here. This guy's selling socks, and that guy over there is selling shirts or something. I don't know why Slavic countries always tend to have these under intersection malls, but they are very frequent in these countries. These very brightly lit and scrolling marquees are showing the exchange rate. That's the exchange rate for the Serbian dinar against probably the euro. I'm guessing it's showing the exchange rate for the dinar versus the euro. Man, look at how lit up this street is for Christmas. So here is yet another work which is encouraging people to go vegan. People would stop walking in front of it. So this presents possibly the best argument I've seen yet for why people should go vegan. Check it out. So here's a cow, and this cow's argument is very simple. Makes sense, doesn't it? It really gives you a whole new perspective on cows' rights. Once again, a Serbian bank innovation. This is the Direktnia Bank, the direct bank. So, you know, other banks, you have to be indirect. Like, you know, when you want to take money out of them, you have to, like, call your friend Sam from a private number and say, "Hey, Sam, I heard a rumor going around that I wanted to take 20 bucks out of my account." But this bank is direct. You know, you just walk right in. You just walk right in the front door and say, "I want to take 20 bucks out of my account," and you get it done. So that's the advantage of the direct bank. Well, now it's directly covered by this bus, but you saw it. It was a direct bank. So, you know, I want to bank with a direct bank. Okay, so I made it to my hotel here in Belgrade. This is the toilet, and as is very common with European toilets, there are two buttons to flush. So the big button makes a big flush for if you do a number 2, and the little button makes a little flush for if you do a number 1. Please tell me that I'm not the only person who looked at this and immediately thought that it looks like Pac-Man going for a pellet.